Welcome to Wiretapped Truths. My name is Jesse Perez, joined by Mr. Wiretapped Truths Leland and our resident comedian Jack Simmons. Today we got guys. Are you ready? One, two, three. Welcome, Boris.
Welcome, Boris.
I thought I was doing the orange for the whole. I thought that was the opening. I was just leading over that. Not gonna do it all over again. And
I know.
So you guys don't even know it. Ah, shit.
Yeah,
Let's start this over. All right, from the top.
I thought we was recording.
Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't record it. So all right. So the guys that don't know, the guys
From the top.
Right, so Chris came in and he started talking Irish stuff. I said, we're like, oh, how is it in Ireland? And he kind of showed us that it was a made up accent. I don't know.
That's funny.
If you want to, I don't know if you want to do it for the people. How you?
I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. It was just like random thing that came into my head, like spur of the moment. I don't know if I can really do it. Like promos,
Yes.
like going to the scene, you just can't make it up. You just gotta be present. And I was present for Ireland there for a minute. I was representing him, but I don't know if I'm doing it very good now. So apologize.
Hey, you're doing it pretty well.
Believable.
So that brings me to my question with you, Chris. And thanks for taking a little bit of your time. I know you don't have much
Thank
time.
you guys for having me. I apologize for. First of all, let me interrupt. I apologize for taking so long to get back to you. You know,
That's
it's
okay.
just you're just trying to figure out life, and sometimes
we've had a
lot
lot of wire interviews and wire stuff in between us talking to you. So we just appreciate you coming on at night, man. We appreciate
that,
it,
man.
sure.
You get caught up in life trying to just figure out what's next. And even as an actor, everything's kind of changing a little bit. So much stuff goes overseas. You're like, Lord, I'm ever going to work again, blah, 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 blah. But that's the way it is, whether it's in the entertainment business or not. Sometimes you're like, I can't talk to anybody today. I'm just trying to ask the Lord
Trying to figure yourself out.
Yeah,
That's how I am, man. Sometimes I'll just go sometimes you need days to just not talk to anybody, and then you realize oh, I forgot to text this person from 3 weeks ago.
I haven't gotten
What
then,
I
what's
used
wrong
to
with you?
do,
Jack is the most like that out of the three of us. Jack would be
What's
like,
that?
"Hey guys, I'm sorry I didn't text you in the past week and a half. I'm just."
That's the way it is. If you're a comedian, you said you're a comedian, Jack.
Yes, sir.
Some of the it's interesting because I was always wanting to make people laugh, and I love doing that, and I never did stand up, but I think a little bit in my own life, and maybe I'm getting too deep here, but some of the people that were the funniest also struggle with depression the most.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same.
And I was one of them. I knew this guy. He was a Navy SEAL and took his life. He was the funniest dude, man. And we had mutual friends, and him and I would connect online. I would just see videos. We never got to link up, and he was the funniest guy, but he was dealing with some of the darkest stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That's deep.
Yeah, I
That's
hear that, man. I mean,
so funny that y'all say that about just taking time to yourself. Before I had my daughter, I used to take 2 hours, like 6 to 8 every day, and that would be like my Leland time. Whether I wanted to be with people or be to myself, it was like that for about 3 years, 6 to 8. It was like, well, we know we can't reach Leland, or if we can, we're lucky, kind of thing. So you do definitely need that time to yourself for sure.
I just
need
walk
your
down
me
the
time,
street
man.
asking people to talk to me, but nobody does.
People are like, "Who's that crazy guy?" They're like, "Don't worry about him. He just lives in the neighborhood." He's not... No, but it's true what you say, man. Like, I think, I have depression too. It's something I've dealt with my whole life, and I think there's something about having mental illness or whatever that gives you a unique perspective that I think and ironically you see things in a funnier way when you're sad. There's humor, there's stuff that's funny that comes out of sadness. Even in The Wire, there's a lot of moments that were sad but also funny, and it mixed that kind of bitter.
It keeps you sane sometimes. I mean, I'm by myself probably 99% of the time, and I live by myself, and I'm let's see where I'm off the coast of Virginia Beach basically right now. So, but there's nothing around me. There's days I won't talk to anybody or anything like that unless gotta go on into town. But sometimes I'm always doing voices, and I'll make myself laugh. Well, it was that way when I battled with depression, plenty of times in my life. If I wasn't a Christian, I probably wouldn't be here, and that's a long story. But Jesus is the only reason I'm here, man. And
Well, Chris, you know what? This interview is starting in a different path than I ever even imagined. So while we're here though, so when did you say when you used to deal with depression? When did you kind of veer off from, I guess, accepting like, okay, well, I'm depressed? Like when does that transition happen? I'm so curious now since we're talking about it. Like,
yeah, it's yeah, I didn't even mean to get in this, but you know, maybe God's got something for somebody. But I
Sure.
should say that it was different times in my life for sure. Once as a kid, and I just, you know, I would wonder as a kid, I'm like, well, people that are going to hell that don't know Christ, you know, and I believe the Bible is real and Jesus is real. And I used to, you know, kind of had the head knowledge when I was younger, but then throughout my life and seeing stuff, even though the last few decades and miracles, and even the time that God intervened in New York when I was like, I can't do this anymore. And he, at the phone ring, the moment I said amen, I was on an apartment floor in Queens, kneeling down, just pouring my eyes out in 2001. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. But so there was different points in my life. So I say with God's grace, it's been a long time, but doesn't mean, I'm reading the book of Job right now in the Bible. It doesn't mean, and I'll never be proud enough to say that it's behind me, because you never know, because life has its ups and downs, and there's spiritual warfare. But at the time in New York, it was 2001, and my birthday was on the 13th on Friday. It was 2001. It was either the 13th or 14th of March in 01 when I'd been battling anxiety attacks, and I thought I was going crazy. I'd never heard the term panic attack. I'd never heard the term anxiety attack. I thought I was going crazy, and I thought I was the only one. And that was the scariest thing, because I'm like, I don't understand why I would just start crying, or like I would start shaking, or on the subway, which I did not want to get onto, man, because that anxiety and a little bit of claustrophobia, which would kick in because of the anxiety, you just wanted to escape. It's that fight or flight. You constantly wanted to be, you know, take off running. I could be back home, and when I got taken back home and picked up from New York and brought back to Virginia, I could be standing in a field. I'm like, I got to get out of here. Dude, you're in the middle of a little house on the prairie, man. Run if you want to run. But I remember I was on Xenadrine, which was, I was doing Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. I was always just shredded just naturally, but I was on Xenadrine, like a fat burner, and I was taking more than you're supposed to. Well, it was already bad enough. They took it off the market over 2 decades ago. And I was always just like, I don't even know if I was drinking coffee back then or when I started drinking coffee, but there was like it was an energy booster, like people drink Red Bull and stuff now. But I was taking that stuff, and
is that similar to Prozac? Like,
no, it was this is stuff it had ephedra in it. The Xenadrine had ephedra in it, so it was a natural fat burner. So I had come in through, as weird as it sounds, like a little bit of modeling, just trying to get into it, which was it's just really weird. Nothing crazy. I did a little bit of magazine, a little bit of print work, but I'm just trying to get in front of a casting director. But I didn't know how all that stuff worked. I'm from the middle of nowhere, and you got all these dudes trying to take advantage of you. You could have a Me Too movement with just the dudes up in New York.
Oh, really?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of actors that experience it, man. That's why I was glad when Terry Crews said something about the dude messing with them on the red carpet. I'm like, the homosexual, like, that's between you and God, but that ain't me, man. So, but there was, it's funny. I just got off a call. The producer was talking about it. But anyway,
same with Brendan Fraser, I think.
What'd you say?
Same with Brendan Fraser, I think. He talked about that, like being harassed by like this male studio executive at the Golden Globes, I think, and that's why
I 100% believe it.
Yeah, and that's why he never like
the
went
Velvet
back.
Rope, the Velvet Mafia. This is, I mean, I've never done a podcast, so I'm like, well, I see the time's ticking up there. I'm like, well, this is recorded now, so let it be. But this is stuff I never really talked about in the public. But yeah, I remember people talking about the Velvet Mafia. There was one name who's no longer in Hollywood. I heard way back when. I'm not going to say it, but he's been kind of exiled for that stuff.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it on our channel too, Chris. Some of that stuff, like, you know, I mean, you won't say it, but I'll say it. We talked about Kevin Spacey and some of his stuff. You know, I mean, you know, I don't have no filter, Chris. You know, so we definitely discussed it. Some of the stuff, like just it being almost like
I would hear about stuff.
Yeah, you know, even though it was the allegations were dropped, some of that stuff it was like, I don't know. I think people still look at him sideways, you know, even though the allegations have been disproven. Like, you know,
some of the well, I mean, what to say, what to not to say. I don't.
Yeah,
I
we
don't know.
we
yeah,
won't
we
put you on that
don't
spot.
want
We won't
you
put you on that
to
list.
have to not have.
I
you
don't care.
know.
I don't care. I mean, you know, I just it's a messed up situation. But some of that stuff, they forget it happens to dudes too, and it's bad that so many women, because I've actresses that have had the worst things happen in auditions.
Damn.
And I'm like, and Lord, I'm glad I wasn't in that room. But then also guys too. There's been famous people talked about being propositioned. But anyway, with all that being said, I don't know how I got into that, but the anxiety, I remember being on March 13th or 14th, and it was the epitome of just like it was a day that it all kind of came to a head. But let me back up. I was living with a guy named Pierre. He did set security and did bodyguard work for like Nicolas Cage and Richard Gere and so forth. I met him on Blair Witch 2, actually. So that was when I was doing. I got my SAG card being a stand-in, and I was that was school for me because I didn't, you know, I knew nothing. I'd been on the set of The Replacements as one of Keanu's teammates, which there was probably 100 of us, but that was background work. So that was the school, and
that movie's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was forgive me for being long-winded, but
no, go ahead.
I pulled at that string, or somebody else did. But anyway, I was living with Pierre, and he was you know, teaching me about New York. I was staying there in Queens with him, and he came into the room one day because he was like, I wasn't making jokes or being funny. He's like, it sounds like the Russian accent, but he's from Beirut. He's like, little buddy, you don't make jokes, you don't laugh. What's going on? I was like, I don't know. Because again, I thought I was going crazy. Laying my head down in this bare apartment, nothing on the walls. I'm like, I'm going to be put in a mental hospital because I'm losing my mind. Again, I never heard the term anxiety attack or panic attack. And I remember I had an audition for a soap opera, which I guess I'm thankful I didn't get. Nothing against soap opera actors, but praise God for The Wire. But I did not. I remember, I guess I had to go to Brooklyn. I don't remember. I knew the subway was going to go under the harbor. And I was like, hell to the no. I was like, I don't want to do it. And I don't have any money I think I poured my last bucks out for a taxi because I didn't want to go underground. I felt trapped.
Damn.
Giving somebody that was having anxiety attacks, put them in a can underground, and it's a whole nother level.
Yeah,
the worst idea.
Yeah, it's not a good idea, and elevators, forget about it. But yeah, so it kind of crested. I guess it was around March 13th or 14th, and I'd asked my parents to come up and get me, and I called my parents. It was like 1 a.m. I was like, "Can you guys?" I was trying not to cry, you know, and my mom was like, what's going on? I was like, what are you guys doing? Just trying. I mean, obviously they're asleep. It's 1 a.m. And she said, sleeping, what's going on? I was like, can you guys come get me? And she said, when? I said, now. And it feels good to talk about this. I've told so many people for decades, but it feels good to put it on, I'll say not really film, but digital. So maybe it would bless somebody else. And she said, well, let me talk to your dad and maybe we can come up there next week. And I hung up the phone. I was just like, I don't know if I'll be here next week. I didn't have any plans, but I knew that whatever was going on in my mind, I was losing it. And I would cry myself to sleep and wake up, you know, just when I realized I was alive, it was a panic attack. So I remember I hit that Flushing, Queens apartment floor. I was on my knees and I was like, Lord, as a Christian, Jesus, like, you say there's nothing that I can't get through without you. I'm at the end of my rope and I'm hanging on to you with everything I've got. And just poured it out, brother. And I said amen. And as soon as I said amen, the phone rang. And Mom's like, we're leaving right now. And I was like, wow. But it was, you know, I came back and I talked to my pastor, and he's like Billy Graham from the hills of North Carolina. Well, Chris, an amazing man, a war veteran. I mean, what he has done and saw so much death, and a quiet, supremely intelligent man, had such a relationship with the Lord and was quiet and powerful, but Jesus was king. and a real man. And I went and talked with him, and I was like, I don't know if this is making me feel better or not, because I didn't know it was a serotonin issue, et cetera, et cetera. And his wife, who's amazing, and both of them have passed. And as I left, I'll never forget about it. She stuck her head out the door, their little screen door. She's like, Chris, there's nothing wrong with seeing a doctor. I was like, I never thought about that.
Damn.
Never thought about it. And so I went in and talked to the doctor the next day. I had the Bible with me because the only time I had peace was when that was open and I was reading. It's wild. It's supernatural. And I went in. He's like, do you feel like, well, he asked me if I was smoking weed. I was like, no. He's like, well, that's good, because that might make it worse.
Damn.
And he said, do you feel like you're losing your mind? And I was like, yes. And he said, you're having anxiety attacks. I'm like, what is that? This is 2001.
Right.
And 25 years ago, almost to the, about to the day, actually.
Almost to the day. Almost.
And so we, people I didn't hear about that. And he's like, this is what's going on, serotonin, blah, blah, blah. So since I started learning about, obviously, exercise, but that ephedra was terrible. And they ended up taking it off the market. I did end up getting put on some Paxil, and it would start balancing me out. But that kind of took me to where I felt like I was living in the Matrix, but I ended up getting off of that stuff. But so, I may end up having something, because anything can happen to anybody. And I just know that the Lord, there's nothing you can't do without Jesus, man. He holds the breath in your lungs and the beating of your heart. And I work in a business where people don't want to talk about such things. And
That's
I mean,
deep.
I've lost people this year, and in the last few months. I mean, and Eric Overmeyer, who was the showrunner for season 4, passed away a couple of days ago.
Damn.
We lost James Ransone and Isaac. Obviously Lance Reddick, Michael Williams, and who I was close with, and Robert Chu. These are years ago. But then the Bible says, "What does it profit a man to gain the entire world and lose his own soul?" And me and Prop Joe, proposition Joe, I got a proposition, Sergei. He was a Christian, and we would have some deep talks.
Wow.
And then Michael K is too.
It sounds like you were really connected with a lot of the cast past your spirituality. Like, it seems like you're really tapped in. Do you feel like that drug, and did they take that drug off of the shelf because other people had panic attacks and anxiety attacks, or
I don't remember, because it was ephedra. It was Xenadrine, but it had ephedra in it, which is natural, I guess. Ephedra. I haven't done a lot of research on it. And there might have been a lawsuit. I mean, I'd have been the poster child. If I'd have got top billing, my face would have been like, this is why y'all can't take that stuff. No. But I don't think it's been on the shelves in decades. And I think it's natural ephedra. I can't remember. But I've talked to a few people, because back in the day when people were trying to get ripped, it was always some fad. And Xenadrine people took. But any kind of that stuff that's got caffeine, like it could be in the drink Celsius, which I was drinking a good bit of over the last year. And then I saw this commercial. I'm like, this lady was like, this Mountain Dew has this, coffee has this, and the Celsius was at the end. I'm like, I had no idea. But
it has 200 milligrams of caffeine in every can.
Brother, that's exactly right. And I had no idea. And that's exactly right. 200. And because it's like, oh, it's good for your brain. I'm like, good. I might be able to remember my lines or this or that. Oh, it's got CoQ10 in it. Oh, that's awesome. But it's got all this in it. But I had a lot of good conversations with a lot of folks. And I remember Jamie Hector and I chopping it up in the trailer when I came back for season 5, and just a lot of great conversations. I'm just blessed to have had that role. I'll stop talking, but it's that triumphs everything, man. Because it's just you're only guaranteed for a split second. I mean, that was half of my life ago, almost.
We were reviewing season 2. It was 23 years ago, and when I just want to comment on what. It's almost, it's a quarter of a century.
Crazy.
That's crazy. And the fact what you were just talking about, Chris, to this day, almost like it's the week almost of you kind of coming to with your family and stuff. That's That's
25
crazy.
years.
This interview lined up right around the time of your like you kind of coming to grips with everything. That's eerily weird. Like
That's why we did
Yeah,
it this
that's
week.
so
So
true.
that's how it
Wow.
Thank you.
What were you saying, Jack? Go ahead, Jack. I'm sorry.
So that's why we had it this week. But I want
Thank
to
you.
say, you know, like that's really inspiring. You know, as someone who has like depression too, I used to like think it was like a burden, right? I was like cursed with this. I was like, why the fuck am I given this?
Or is
But
it
like
just
the old,
me when
right,
I'm not
exactly,
strong
and
enough?
yes, exact, and that confusion too. I totally relate. Like, why is this happening to me? Like why was I given this? Am I weak and everything? But now that I've gotten
Yeah.
older, I view it as like a blessing, because when you experience the bottom, like when you've hit rock bottom emotionally and psychologically, it makes you appreciate the good things more. And so
Man,
like when
that's
you're
so true.
happy, it's like you appreciate it more than someone who's generally content, because it's like it feels like you've been given this as a gift, whereas other people
Mhm.
take it for granted. And so now it's like I look at it and it's like almost giving me a positive appreciation for life in an ironic way.
You don't want to.
Wow.
My biggest thing, and when you said something, it unlocked. You said something about appreciating life or something, but it unlocked a memory. I got goosebumps because I'm like, I just want to smile again and mean it.
That's
Like
deep. Wow.
Mhm.
I just want to smile again and mean it. I don't want to be thinking like, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. You know, I don't want to be thinking like, God, I cannot do this, Lord. I cannot do this. Um, I just want to
Yeah.
be able to smile again. And then one day I woke up and it was gone. It's like you see the squirrels, you hear them, hear the birds or whatever. And it's the little things. It's not that a massive weight you feel. And there's
Mhm.
spiritual warfare too, because I mean, I'd been held down before. I've never done a drug in my life. And this was during the middle of the day. I mean, I got some deep stories that would make an atheist mouth drop. But
Damn.
so there's mental stuff, there's spiritual warfare, which, you know, they say the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. But I mean, it's really heavy. And anyway,
Yeah, no, it's
but
true.
I'm
Dang.
glad that you and I can. That I'm not glad that it happened to you, but I'm glad that it got brought up, even if it's one of my random things
Mm-hmm.
that I spoke of, because it needs to be spoken of. I've lost a lot of friends from suicide, and James was one of them. I hadn't
Yeah.
talked to him in a while. But you just never know what somebody's battling, man. You just never
Mhm.
know.
And Chris, we did I don't know if you got a chance to check it out. I don't know if Jesse sent it to you, but we did a special tribute. He was our first tribute episode. We did a episode kind of showcasing people that have passed in real life from The Wire. But James Ransone was our first single actor tribute episode. We did one for Isaiah Whitlock, who played Clay Davis too. But James Ransone was our first one. And just because of how he passed and stuff like that, we wanted to look at it to honor him versus talking about how he transitioned. We were really careful about, we don't know who all watches our podcast. We don't know if his family will ever see our podcast. Who knows?
Yeah.
But they might, So
Yeah.
we wanted to make sure that we honored him. And even we were finishing our season 2 recaps and stuff, it was still like, man, it's surreal that he's not here, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and we talked about it when we did our tribute episode. There was a lady who was like right outside of his building or something. She was being attacked by, I don't know, a serial assaulter or rapist. I don't know. She was being attacked. I don't know if it was a sexual assault or physical assault, but James Ransone came and like pushed him off of her and like saved her, kind of thing. So
I
when he
didn't know.
passed,
I didn't know about that.
yeah, she spoke about it. It was an article about it.
Wow.
And she spoke about him, kind of thing. So we brought that up on our tribute to him. So it was definitely, even watching him still on screen, it's definitely like surreal. And but he's immortalized in a way because we'll never forget him. We'll never forget some of the great things he did. So
So
sorry that you lost him as a friend and knowing him. Like, I know that's probably tough.
Yeah, I hadn't talked to him in a while. After I read about the abuse, which I bring it up because I don't know what the deal is with the guy that I think at least as a couple years ago he was allegedly still working in the Baltimore school system. But James, somebody had told me about what James had brought up. about being assaulted. I mean, basically raped. But this is because, and I say it because James put this on his Instagram.
It's public.
Yeah.
It's public.
Yeah.
Wow. And I checked on him via text or whatever. But I thought he'd moved his wife and kids to Tennessee. I thought he'd left LA. That's why I didn't realize he was back in LA. But I ran into him once at Runyon Canyon. We were running. I was running, and this guy comes up. He's got some tats, and he's got a muscle on him. And I was like, oh, this is Ziggy. This is wild. He's then put on some weight. And he was always so quiet and so nice. And then I ran into him at a get-together. It was him and Michelle Rodriguez, and there was a couple of people there. This was in Malibu. That's probably been
going fast and furious.
2011, 12. Yeah, but which was he talked about addictions and stuff like that. So I don't know when he was and when he was not, but it goes back to what I said before. I mean, it's just people have said it plenty of times, but it's so true. You just never know what somebody's battling, and who would have thought. I mean, that was heavy when I read it, because somebody said, "Have you seen what James put up?" And I was like, "No," and
it was deep.
I don't even know. Wow.
Yeah, no, it was deep. It was deep, and it was the way he worded it was almost like him coming to grips with it and coming to grips with being willing to share it to the public. Like it was, when you read it, it definitely made you like, damn, that is crazy, because it had been years, it had been
decades.
Years,
Well, luckily,
you give people the gift to go second.
Yeah.
Somebody said before, like, I think it came from the I Am Second podcast, where people talk, a lot of famous people that talked about coming to Christ or becoming Christians. I mean, a lot of super famous people and athletes or musicians or actors or whatever. I think it's iamsecond.com. Maybe that's where I heard it. But when you open up, whether it's abuse or whether it's depression or whatever, you give somebody else the gift to go second, because it's like school, kindergarten, raising your hand, or high school. Nobody wants to go first, man.
No.
Nobody wants to go first. But when somebody else comes forth, it's like you really help somebody else to get to be able to speak up. And for him, it was decades ago. I cannot imagine, man.
Yeah. Luckily, it's better now. People are feeling more comfortable talking about this now. Like when we were growing up, it was like, if you said you were seeing a therapist, people thought you were crazy. They're like, "Why? What's wrong with you?" Like, what's
It's exactly right.
And now it's like it's good. People should talk about. They should talk about their mental health and everything. And so like I definitely think it's improved. Like, we still have ways to go, of course, but luckily now we can talk generally more about how we're feeling. I think that should definitely be encouraged.
And it feels good. I mean, just talking with you guys, like I've told this story about depression and this and that for, hundreds of times. I remember you talking about being Jewish. I remember I was on the roof of some place in Hollywood, and I was with this gal. We had gone out, and I guess that was maybe the first time we went out or whatever. She was big into the scene, and she knew a lot of names or whatever. And there was a bunch of people on this roof, and this girl actually was from Baltimore. Not the one that I was with, but somebody she introduced me to. And is that y'all's? Oh, is that somebody else's alarm or mine?
It wasn't mine.
It's not mine. It's not mine.
It was mine.
Okay. I was like, am I going crazy? I turned it off.
We were trying to play coy there.
Yeah, Leland's like the guy who
farted
farted that doesn't want to say they farted. He's like just looking around.
She was like the girl in Baltimore. She was battling with depression or whatever, and she had mentioned something about being Jewish or whatever. And I told her, and I was like, man, Jesus is that's the only way I'm still here. It was because of him. And answering that prayer. And it's funny, I left. And the girl, I won't mention her name, but she's like, you talked to her about Jesus? She was Jewish. She already told you. She was like, why'd you tell her? I was like, number one, Jesus was Jewish. Number two, she asked, and that's it's like he's the beginning of Judaism, so whatever. But it was but like you said, you it's a blessing in the fact that if you can share your story with somebody, you might be able to get them through the day.
Yeah.
And
it's the highest human act is to inspire, so You know, you all tell your story.
Point.
Whoever may see this podcast, if you're suffering from depression or anything like that, we hope that this helps you. You know that you can tell your story. You know, that's
because there's times I never thought it just, and to close up on that or whatever. But just one more thought on it. You know, the thing about smiling, I never thought I was going to smile again. And
Damn.
actually, I just thought it was like, this is never going to go away. It was the enveloping feeling like this is never going to, like, how can you fix this? And all of a sudden it's like this fog lifted, you know, and I'm like, and it very well could have been. I mean, the packs will obviously to help, but I think there was some spiritual warfare stuff going on too, because what I was getting prepared for, I was seeing the Lord come off the pages, to be honest, guys. Damn. Because the only time I felt peace was when my nose was in the Word, and what got me into the Word was the anxiety. Yeah, because I was the only. I mean, it was powerful, the living and breathing Word, and that was the only reason. I mean, I'm not gonna say the only reason I was reading the Bible, but when you're scared to death, if you're out there in the ocean and be like, do what you want, but I got a life raft. I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. I was going to that life raft, and my nose in it, and that was the only time I feel peace. And it was with me on the subway, and I would look around, and y'all know, I mean, how many people on the subway every day, and I'm like, each one of these people has a soul.
Mm-hmm.
Most people have heard of Jesus. Have they asked him to forgive them for their sins? How many people? Because everybody's going to go to either heaven or hell.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, and my heart would break for so many people, and I wanted to shout, but I want to be the crazy person
on the subway.
But I'm like, what I'm saying is real, because I won't be here in I don't know how many years, but everybody, every knee and every tongue, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus is Lord. But he'll be Savior or Judge one. And I was just not as a I'm right, you're wrong or whatever. It's like I've got something that we all need. I need it just as much here and after we take our last breath. But like my heart was breaking because we're all chasing something, you know. But I don't know. It was empathy. I think I was always empathetic for people. But when you go through a lot, like you said, you appreciate everything, but you also want to help other people, and you to see other people smile and mean it as well. So.
Oh, for sure. So like going back to comedy, it's like when you want to make people laugh, right? If you're feeling sad, you want other people to feel. Yeah, I definitely think you gain more empathy, or like you just start to like think about like, well, what are these people going through? I think about that in traffic sometimes. So I'll randomly like be driving home, and I'll just think about all these other people in their cars, and it's like everyone has their own, but you never like consciously think about those people. Like they're just
you never know what people are doing.
Yeah.
Right. You know.
Until they come out of your car and blame you for it.
And then they're an asshole. Then I don't care what they're going through.
Now, Chris, I do want to get into, because this was phenomenal. I was not expecting our interview to get that deep so early.
I wasn't either. So
that was great. That was such a cleanse.
Story, guys. Now let's get started.
Exactly.
That was such
the power of
Wiretapped. That was great though. That was great. So just looking at your IMDb, you've been a part of some like legendary shows. So from Sneaky Pete to Bosch to The Wire, like, and then we've had a bunch of guests on. Do you like watching yourself? Like, do you rewatch the shows that you're in, like, kind of thing, or is that like, nah, I don't really want to watch the show that I'm acting in, kind of thing?
No, I do. I was a fan. I mean, starting with The Wire, I would actually love to go back and do it again, because I feel like I'm, you know, I humbly say I think I'd be so much better, but I was scared to death on that because. Excuse me. I mean, they hired me thinking I was from the Ukraine, first of all. So I show up on set. I'm like,
yeah. Can you tell us about that a little bit? That they told Pat Moran told you to tell the Pat. Executives.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that. And then to answer your question, I do watch myself, because I mean, dude, and that's probably why I need brain exercises, because there's so much stuff to watch constantly. There's always such amazing shows to watch. And with Bosch, I was a fan of Michael Conley and his books my family, we've read them for decades. So step into that world was really wild. The Wire, I was actually I think I was staying with a friend on, I think it was 28th and Broadway in the city And the guy who's a writer director, we were both crashing at this place. And he said, man, he's from Baltimore. He's like, you got to watch this show, The Wire. And so there was season 1 had just been released. And so I guess, I don't remember when I went back to New York, but I was going back and forth after, All right, we got to relight. Sorry, we got to relight everything. Stay put. Sorry, moving on. Everybody back to 1. Anyway, I started watching it, and with Pat. So that was 01. So yeah, so I left in March of 01, but somehow I was in Philly on 9/11, and I was supposed to. Tony Luke's Jr. with the cheesesteaks. Tony Luke's is a really good friend of mine, like a brother, and to Anthony Lucidonio Jr., but his restaurant was called Tony Luke's when he had it. But Tony, I was staying in Philly. Tony was supposed to pick me up, and we were supposed to drive to New York on 9/11. And thankfully, he overslept, and he's a businessman. So for him to oversleep, I was like, that's odd and a blessing. So he picked me up, and he's like, Goomba, such and such is going on. I overslept, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to come and get you, and we're going to go to the shop, to his sub shop. So we're in front of where his sub shop, cheesesteak place, Tony Luke's in Philly, and the Italian restaurant his family owned across the street, Casa de Pasta. We were standing there in the middle of the median, and we were just talking about all kinds of things. And somebody was talking about the Italians. Well, let me back up. The fourth plane was in Pennsylvania somewhere, but they didn't know where it was. So somehow we got to talking about terrorism, which led us, somehow we got to talking about mobs and stuff like that, and this and that, and strongholds. And somebody ended up saying something about the Russians running North Philly and the Italians running South Philly. And, oh, dude, talk about a God moment. Dude, I love it that y'all are showing The Wire, because I could tell this other story to people and they wouldn't get where I'm going with it. You guys will know exactly where I'm going with it. So I had no auditions for The Wire or anything yet. So this is what September 11th. I had no idea what God was up to the next year. I got goosebumps. And this is crazy, dude. This is crazy. So this guy says, yeah, the FBI, this is the hair standing up. Not up here, but on my arms. I can't even get the story out.
Hair standing up.
Oh, look at this. They are growing. Oh, my God. They are growing. It's amazing. But a great success. But I can't even get it out.
Borat? That's very good.
But so the guy says, yeah, the FBI picked up this Russian. This is crazy. You're going to make me cry thinking about this. The FBI picked up this Russian. This is 2001. The FBI picked up this Russian, and they were trying to get him to talk. And he would not talk. And he's like, you basically think that you guys can get me to talk? Like, I come from whatever in my country. Like, y'all can't do anything. I'm not talking.
In my country, this is nothing.
Dude, I got goosebumps. This is 2001. This is on 9/11 that the guy was standing in the middle of the street.
Did you all know that what had gone on when y'all were having this conversation?
Yeah, because we were supposed to go to New York. And if I remember correctly, and I wish I'd have written a diary like McConaughey did, like putting all this stuff down. But I want to say that I was either going to an agent to meet with an agent. I don't know if I had an agent at the time, but I want to say it was around the World Trade Center. So I'm super thankful that my buddy overslept. And then obviously thankful that story. So for that story about the Russian that got picked up by the FBI and he wouldn't talk, and they were saying this, they were trying to do this and that. And remember, it's 9/11/01. I wouldn't know this for like a year later. So a year later, Pat Moran calls and says, she said, can you do a Russian accent? I don't know if she said Ukrainian, but she said Ukrainian or Russian accent or something like that. And I said, I'm sure I can. I just have to hear it. You know, it's kind of like a parrot. I guess God gave me that as well. Like, I just can mimic it if I hear it. Because accents and sounds and stuff like that, I would always just try to mimic. It's just, I don't know why. But she said,
good. Incredible talent, you know.
What'd you say?
I mean, it's an incredible talent, like just like, you know, being able to do that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It is a gift, and there's a lot of people better than me, but it's I knew he had given it to me. God had given it to me, and so I said, I'm sure I can. I just need to hear it. And she said, "Good." I told HBO that you're from Ukraine. You've been here for 2 weeks, and I was like, oh, I don't want to lie to him. Like I didn't want to be dishonest. Plus, I've never had any training.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm all right. My whole life's a lie. So I'm like, you're scared to death. Congratulations for being in NFL. We hope you can play. Like, dude, I've never held a football. Which direction do I go? That's
Like,
the way
catch
I
me if you
felt.
can.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So she said, I said, I don't want to lie. She said, it's your job. She had an angry little woman, but she was sweet. But she said, it's your job. I was like, yes, ma'am. So I come in and I signed the paper. Well, I actually had a friend of mine, I don't remember who it was, tell me the story. I told them like 20 years. I don't remember it all. But she's like, yeah, you told me you went in and signed your name and threw the pen, like just whatever. Like, because the Russians I had met were cold. It's not Southern hospitality out of Russia. I mean, those dudes, they're hard. They're harder than any place I've ever seen. And so I went in and I was that guy. And I don't remember the first audition at all, really. I remember getting a call back later on, being back around Lynchburg, Virginia, near where I was living. You know, question life, like, Lord, I'm ever going to get a job. Everybody's telling me to do this, but I'm like, I know you've given me this passion, but also you give me some talent. Like, when's it going to open? Because I was in New York trying to beat the streets, and you know, my accent, because it was Southern. One side note, somebody, I think it was CBS, has said, I think it was Mark Sachs. I'd have to remember. He's in LA now casting, but I think it was for the show Hacks, which was filmed in Philly, I believe, Hacks or something like that. And said, it's not your acting, it's your accent. I'm like, my accent? Like, I was kind of hurt. I was like, all right. So anyway, I never booked anything. And it was the Southern, which I can turn off if I need to. But so anyway, I'm thankful I didn't book those because it turned out for The Wire as a blessing. So
Yeah.
I think it was, you know, after this time goes by, I haven't heard anything. And with acting, any actor or actress, when I say this, they'll be like, yes, that's the truth. It's don't call us. We might call you, but we might not call you. But don't call us. Don't bother us. So I get called that they want to have a callback. And I'm like, oh, wow. I don't remember if I had that stage or not. I don't remember. And it's a 4.5 hour drive to Baltimore. So I went up there and they think I'm from Eastern Europe. Yeah. So, and I'm like, dude, this is so, I mean, I've always had tremors in my hands, these chronic benign tremors. And I mean, the right side's fixed now, but the left still shakes. When I get an adrenaline rush, like an altercation, or I'm just excited, my hands are like this. I'm just like, you know, whatever. And I remember being in the scene, and this is where I think about Ziggy, because I remember auditioning and at some point dropping the papers, and it's like, worst bad enough from the docs, like blah, 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 blah. That's when I drop my paper.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know.
You do a good Ziggy too. That's funny.
Yeah, no, that's a good Ziggy. That's a hell of a Ziggy.
I appreciate it.
Oh, Boris is way cooler.
Yeah, Boris is way cooler. And I was like, his high pitched voice, but I dropped the sides, and I'm like, it was that moment, guys. It was one of those God moments where I'm like, what am I doing? And all of a sudden, the dialogue just went away, and everything I'd been told on 9/11 just came to me. And I was like, I got goosebumps now. It's like, be that guy. And it just took over. It just took over. I'm like, I dropped the script and I didn't even care. And I just played like I was that guy that I was told about. I became that guy right then and there. And I was like, oh, you just think this is funny? How about that slit your throat? I do this, I do that. And I just told him what I did or whatever. And I got up and walked out. That's
because you do it seamlessly. Like, I mean, it's a seamless, multiple accents, like you definitely have a talent for it. Like,
we're all on medication, guys. All of us, aren't we? Yeah. I feel like Murdoch on the A-Team, like he's not all there or something. But and I appreciate that, brother. But it was so easy. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just play like I'm 5 years old. Like, okay, I'm this guy. Okay, I'll be this guy. And then right there, So I dropped the sides and I did this, blah, 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 blah. And I got up and left.
Wow.
And that's
one of my favorite scenes from you is when you visit Prop Joe and you said, you're getting slimmer. He's like, shit. He's like, I feel bad for you.
Chris,
I thought he was anorexic when I read it. I was like, oh, this guy must be anorexic. I thought when I read it, I was like, oh, this guy must be so skinny. Like you're finally gaining weight, whatever. And I was like, oh, no, I was wrong.
Chris, that is one of our our crew. That's one of our favorite scenes in the whole series. Is you and Prop? Yeah. I don't know if it's just because you and Prop Joe's relationship. It was like, oh man, this is my guy. It's love, and then it's like you telling Nick, hey, look, don't say shit until somebody speaks to you when we get in here. Like, I don't know why we love
somebody gets your acting was so good. It's like how well
I appreciate it.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Wire acting in general is, we always say, is the best acting, but I really think in that scene, like, you really shine.
I appreciate it because I look back and I was like, oh man, I don't believe it. Whatever. I think that was the first day I met him.
Wow.
Really?
I think it was, and I appreciate you guys saying that. It makes me feel good because I often look back.
I swear, Chris, we talk about that scene. We've talked about it a lot. Like, it is a favorite scene of ours as a crew. I don't know why. I don't know.
You know what? It's the unexpected friendship, I think, is part of it. It's like you don't expect to see these guys together. That's one thing I love about the show is these random relationships. It's like that's kind of
a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
It was genuine. It was definitely genuine. And too, just thinking about when you were talking about earlier, Chris, just you get trembling like when it's an altercation. I'm just thinking about when McNulty and Fitz when they came in the room and they jumped on you. Like, it was like, hey.
Oh, I'd have slayed both of those dudes.
That's where I'm about to go with it. I'm like, oh yeah, you definitely
I threw myself around.
Yeah, you needed both of them. And we just broke down episode 12 like the other day. We were doing our recap.
Both.
And I said, hey, if they had let Sergei get to his drawer, he was gonna shoot them. Like, they were gonna die.
He was out the window. I got a story about Prop Joe. It reminded me to come back about that because something really funny happened on set with Prop Joe that day, and then also remind me about the fight scene because they got some deep stuff on that too. But thank you. Prop Joe, we were filming that, and Robert's stomach kept growling. Like, it became an issue. We were seeing me and Pablo and Robert was like, I'm sure he was like sweating, and I know that he knew we could all hear it, and then the sound guy could hear the boom. It was like roar or whatever, and we were I'm like looking at him and Sergei, I'm gonna tell you something, Sergei. And he just back and I'm like, and Pablo and I are trying not to laugh, and I'm like, I don't want to put in, and this is my first job. I'm like, I don't want people to come down on me. I don't know what the line is when you're like, all right, we had enough. Somebody kill Sergei off, so he's not doing good. But I'm like, I'm feeling pressure for him, and I'm trying not to laugh. And at some point, Nick and I just start busting and laughing because I don't remember if somebody, like the sound guy, was like, I'm picking up something. What is that sound? And he's like, I got to get something to eat. I was like, give this man something to eat. He's darn over
That's a great show.
But
that's a great story.
He bless his heart. And he was such a sweetheart of a guy. I knew that.
Oh, we heard,
We've heard that.
His calling card. It was his thing. And he was such a great character, such a great person.
He was also, I didn't know if he was also the acting coach to the kids.
Yeah. He's the reason a lot of those kids had jobs on The Wire.
Yeah.
He
know
took
that
so many people.
If not for, it's so crazy, like with The Wire, and just how everybody seemed to overperform kind of thing, even if not knowing, hey, we don't know if this show is going to be around next season, or, it just seemed like everybody was willing to come together for a historic show. And in my eyes, I think it's the best show ever. And I don't think anything that comes out or anything I can watch or rewatch, I'm watching The Sopranos. I never finished it. I don't know if I'm going to say The Sopranos is better than The Wire. I don't think I'll ever say anything is better than The Wire. But just interviewing people like yourself and the cast members, just how everybody had that camaraderie with each other, it made for such a phenomenal piece of art. Like, it's something. It's been 23 years and we're doing a podcast. Our podcast not even a year old, and we're breaking down the wire. We have yourself on. You know, it's been 23 years.
And welcome to the Facebook group, by the way, too.
Thank you. We're on the Facebook.
All the pieces met. That's where we met.
Oh, is that yours?
No.
Well, it's Kurt, but we're all members there.
Yeah,
So
that's where we met. That's where the three of us met.
Runs it. And the three of us met there. Yeah.
And the
we had an
founder of
initiation
that group,
process.
Chris, his name is Kurt. Is it Kurt Burt? Is that his
Yes.
That's the founder of that group. And then online, I don't know if you're on Twitter or if can I still call it Twitter or X?
I used to have one, but I don't have one anymore.
He's got a Twitter that's called Ziggy's Duck. And
I do remember that.
That's
him. I do remember that.
That's him.
He's the admin of the He's the admin of the Facebook group.
Okay.
For years, Chris, I thought I was the biggest Wire fan, and I Jesse and Jack will tell you I don't really watch a bunch of TV. It's pretty much the Wire. It's been in rotation for like 16 years, and it never leaves. I'm always watching it. It is what it is. Kind of.
You never know. It might be different. The next episode, sometimes you got that little dream like, what if something different happened that didn't?
That's the cool thing about the Wire. You do always catch something on.
You catch something different.
You're like,
what I'm about to say.
I just mean like it might turn out different.
Oh no, I know how everything is gonna happen. But what you mentioned earlier about you maybe being willing to come back and shoot it again, I've voiced my opinion on the prequels from The Wire, and I'm like, if nothing else, the Greek organization, like that storyline, could take on a 4 or 5 season show as a prequel kind of thing. Like if we could show where the Greeks came from, how they rose to this large organization. Like I don't think it'll ever happen, but it'd be fascinating to see because we just finished season 2. Like the other day we just finished it. And it was just that organization, everything about season 2 and the Greeks is just a phenomenal story. And I would love to see like some more backstory to it. It'll probably never happen from David Simon, obviously, but I would just love to see how did the Greeks get so large? Like it was
and it's
a story.
And I'm not even Greek.
And I'm not
my
name is not my name.
Well, you had the most badass line. Did he have hands? Did he have face? Then it wasn't us.
I appreciate
the white
that.
mic.
Yeah, there was and don't let me forget to go back to that scene when they snatched me up because it's funny that what was happening on set off camera. But when I was smoking that cigarette, I remember the director's like, "You're not a smoker, are you?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Let's just ditch it." And I was like, "No, let me try it. Let me just try it again." Because he was getting frustrated. I wasn't really smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or they're just holding it right too.
Do you remember who the director was? Do you remember who the?
Yeah, it might have been Tim. No, Tim was a British guy. I would know it if I heard his name. I'd know it. I can't remember which one it was. He's directed a ton of stuff. He still directs.
Do you know who it is, Jesse?
Was it Ernest Dickerson? Was Dickerson the last name?
No, I didn't work with him until Bosch.
Oh, okay.
Old Ernest. But yeah, I don't remember who it was.
Oh, Seth Mann.
What'd you say?
Seth Mann directed a couple.
No, it wasn't him, but he directed me on Elementary, which was great. Opposite Johnny Lee Miller, he hired me for that, and we got to talk about all things Wire.
That's the Sherlock Holmes show, right?
What is it?
The Elementary, right? Show? Isn't that the?
Yeah, it was.
Isn't that the Sherlock Holmes show?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That was fun. So I guess start on that. But before I forget that, and he let me obviously smoke those minted cigarettes or whatever. It's mint something, but
the menthols.
Yeah. He was like, it's got mint in it or something. It's because it's not a cigarette really. But after some lessons in holding it, I guess I don't know if somebody told me or whatever. But obviously it's in the scene, so he let me do it one more time because I was like, no, I want to do it. Plus, it gives you something to actually do while you're saying your lines, so you're actually, feels like you're not faking something. Obviously, it's not a real cigarette, but your mind is engaged in something, so you just feel like there's something you can play, pretend. It's like you could play pretend without toys, but give somebody a little truck, and all of a sudden he puts his mind, and you see like he believes it. But what I was going to say about the scene with Dominic and Doug Walier, Both of those guys are great. But the stunt guy he asked Dominic, he looked at Dominic and he looked at me. He's like, you ready to, fight or wrestle around with Chris or whatever today? You ready to get it going or whatever? And Dominic looked at me. He's like, not really. He's like, look at me. No, not really. Not really. But he trips in that. The window's open. If you see to the left of, like, if the bed's in front of me where I'm laying, the window's open, if I recall correctly. The mirror on the cabinet falls.
Yep.
He trips and almost goes out the window. We're up 2 stories.
Damn.
If I remember, he almost fell out the window because if I recall correctly, the window's open.
Damn.
So that was not.
Wow.
That was like it was.
That was part of
it. But I was like, I'm
like
gonna
2
throw myself
stories
around. Yeah, I'm gonna throw myself around, and you guys take a ride.
Yeah, because it was definitely like, oh yeah, we needed 2 people to come here. Yeah. Sergei, he was a monster.
I wish they would have just let me sling those dudes around. I'm sorry, Dominic and Doug. I would have had a field day with you guys.
Chris, this was the one because
hour number 2.
I thought
like we're getting messed here.
I thought we were gonna have like a shorter interview, so I only had one question for you.
That's it.
This was my one question. When you told the police about where the Greeks were, Sergei and not Sergei, Spiros and the Greek, did you tell them that knowing that they weren't going to make it in time to the hotel, or is that even,
about that.
Have you ever even thought about that? Like,
honestly, some of those times, that was one of the Was I handcuffed? I was handcuffed at the table, right?
Yep.
Was I handcuffed in that interview?
Yeah,
Or was it just the one with Cedric Daniels and then Wendell Pierce's character? Because I was handcuffed.
That's when you were handcuffed. I think I'm trying to remember.
Robert Colesbury directed.
You're handcuffed with the McNulty one. Yeah, you're handcuffed with the McNulty one. Yeah,
that was later on
because you said I'll take you to them.
But you know what?
You're right. That was a later interview then.
With Lance, it is.
The finale.
You tell Lance where they're at because he's like, you need to tell me anywhere these motherfuckers might be, and you're like at a hotel at the Arbor.
I forgot about that. I couldn't even remember. All I remember is I remember being handcuffed to that table because if I remember correctly, I know Robert Colesbury.
Rest in peace to Robert Colesbury too. That was his last episode.
Amazing guy.
Yeah, we've heard.
I didn't have any acting lessons. I'm pretending. I pretended my way on set and, with the accent and everything. But I'm like, this is a big deal. Like, I'm like, he's directing it, number one. Excuse me. And I'm like, this scene is about me. Like, no pressure. So I handcuffed my table. I handcuffed myself to the table. And this is a country boy, no lessons or whatever. But I handcuffed it and I put that handcuff on super tight because you see me. This is awesome. I don't know. Well, this is my first podcast ever. I jerk, so nobody knows it. So I jerked the
table.
I jerked the handcuff at one point, and it pissed me off because it hurt so bad because it's a real handcuff. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it shows up in the tape where I jerked the handcuff.
Oh yeah, you can see it. You can see it.
Hurt.
Like
so I felt that, but if I remember correctly, I sat there through lunch. Like I didn't go to lunch.
Yeah,
I wanted to sit at the interrogation table. And I was pissed. And I'm
to make it more like realistic, like you were like actually
right.
there.
Yeah,
okay.
That's exactly right. So I didn't go anywhere, if I recall correctly. And I remember when I did the scene, I could hear Robert Colesbury on the other side of the wall because we were at a stage somewhere. This is all a built set. And he's like, that's how you do it, or something like that. It was a huge compliment. I remember hearing that, and I was so thankful when I heard him say that because I was like, dude, you did a good job because I don't know.
Right.
And back up to my first day on set was with Vondas, and when I showed up there, like Paul Ben Victor had been in everything, and he was talking about accents. Like, oh, you're good with the accents, and he's like, come into my trailer. I came into his trailer, and he's like, how's my Greek or whatever? And I was like, it sounds good to me. I'm like, I wanted to be like, dude, I don't know. I just faked my way on the set. I've got some Greek friends, but I mean, yours sounds good. So we rode over to the little diner. That was the first time on set. I sat down opposite Paul and Victor. That was my first day on set. And I'm nervous. I got my hands on the table or whatever, and my hands are in front of me. And he reaches his hand over and puts his hand on my hands. He's like, "So, talk," because he could see, which was a blessing. I'll never forget that. And I think that Ed Bianchi was the director of the first 2 episodes. And I think after I did something, I might have asked, like, "How was that?" or something like that. And Paul was like, "Well, he'll let you know." So he was guiding. Dude, what a blessing he was, because I had no idea. I was scared to death I was going to mess it up.
We heard this.
Show I was a fan of.
We heard the same exact story from another co-worker of yours, of Teddy Kanaz.
Yeah.
Teddy Kanaz, who played Gleekus, said, I don't know if you know, it was his first movie ever. I mean, his first
I knew that.
First TV show ever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he was nervous too.
Nervous as hell. Yep.
He probably got hired as a local, just like I did.
And Paul Ben Victor calmed him down.
Yep.
With his action.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah,
he's a phenomenal actor too. Like I don't know if you're familiar with the Power Universe world, but he's in a show called Raising Kanan.
And, I know of it. I haven't seen all of it though.
He was in season 3 and 4, or was it just I think it was seasons 3 and 4. And I mean, just him and Wendell Pierce. Wendell Pierce is in it too. And they both, and it seems like every time I see a Wire actor or actress in something else, and maybe it's because of my addiction to the Wire, I don't know, but it just seems like you all seem to jump out every single time. Like Pablo was in Law and Order for like 2 seasons. It like
I just read for that like 2 weeks ago.
Wow, congratulations. Yeah.
I don't think I got
it. He ended the season and then opened the next season.
Pablo did?
Yeah, it was, and it's one of
actor.
the top 2 episodes out. And I'm a Law and Order. I used to watch that shit all the time. But those 2 episodes with him, he was so menacing. Like they were trying to catch him. They were trying to get his fingerprints. He burned his fingerprints off. Like it was just, he was just a next level villain in Law and Order, and it opened the next season. Like it was really
That's
good.
Awesome.
Like, yeah,
especially to open up the next season with the character from the previous. Usually the one-offs. The one I read for was a top of show guest star, and I was like, I got this one. This is me. And I didn't get it. I don't think I have, because I think they're filming. I don't know if they're filming now, but it's going to be a memorable character. And I'm like, oh, it was so fun.
Yeah.
But and I'm like, am I the only actor in the world that's never been on any of the Law and Orders?
I think you are, because I think we had Julito on, and he said that at SAG.
Has he been on it?
Yes. And he said at the SAG Awards, they said, stand up if you've been on Law and Order. And like the whole thing stood up, and it's like.
Then I would have been in the audience going, oh,
we got to get Chris on Law and Order. If you're listening, Dick Wolf, if you're still alive, I don't know.
Oh,
but
that's right. Yeah. And he's, I read for Chicago PD. It was a top of show guest star for Chicago. No, not Chicago PD, Chicago.
Fire? Chicago what?
Yeah, it was another one.
Chicago Fire, yeah, I think. Right?
I think it was about the emergency room.
The Pit?
Chicago Med?
Chicago Med.
Chicago Med.
So it was a top of show guest star there, an amazing character, and then Law and Order SVU. But I think those were both like 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But I haven't worked since the movie I did in Mexico in December 2020.
Damn.
I've been up for a lot of stuff, but you had COVID, and then you had all the different strikes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some stuff I turned away because I'm like, I don't want to do that, man. Like,
but as a like super immensely talented voice talent, if you will, like, do you do voiceover and stuff too? Like, have you thought about doing that? Like,
man, I get asked that. I bet you I get asked it every week, and I would love to. I just, maybe I need to put forth more effort. I don't know. I would love to do that, because it would paying the bills is always good.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy that. But no, I have never done that. I did it for a friend. He had his wife had written some special, and I did like 3 different voices on my iPhone and sent so they could use it. But
because you're really talented. We had
I appreciate that.
We had a Detective Crutchfield, Greg Williams. Greg Williams, right? Jesse? And we plug all of our guests.
Shout out to Greg Williams. Go to the gregwilliams.com. We have his website in the bottom.
He's got he has a website, and it's like you can book him. He's like 72. And so we interviewed him. I asked him, like, do you still do voiceover work? He's like, till I die, kind of thing.
That's awesome.
Like, yes, that was very, very cool voice. I gotta say,
really got a cool voice. No, the interview that we just put out for probably like an hour before this interview was Bob Spohr, and it's the first interview that we've plugged Greg Williams' link into the description. So I clicked on the website. And I mean, it's got like you can book him for narration, voiceover. That's why I asked you that, because I looked at his website.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Shoot, dang, okay.
I've never done it.
Stuff,
I never.
Actually, we asked Greg, and he said that there's a studio based in Atlanta, right? Maybe I could get that name for you, Chris, if you're interested.
Okay, I appreciate it. The only time I did a voiceover, other than the ones I sent from my friend, I was in Philly. I was in Philly at a hip hop studio. And the guys were like, I was just going from accent to accent and accent, and they're like, dude, write something, I'll chop it up, you do the voices, and I'll chop it up. So I was like, I don't know how. I think I had so Hannibal Lecter, talking to Clarice. I don't know how I came up with it. It's just this random, give me some sugar or caffeine. And Hannibal Lecter was trying to call Clarice. There was this gay AT&T operator that connects him, but he connects him to the grandma from Nutty Professor. So the grandma from and he's like, well, Clarice, I don't know nobody, and it goes on and on and on. And then the AT&T operator gets all pissed off or whatever. It's like, I didn't know. And he's like, who is this? And the grandma from Nutty Professor, and then Professor Clump, and some different family members get on the phone. So like all these characters that Eddie Murphy was playing, Hannibal Lecter, the AT&T. I forgot how many, but there was a bunch, and he put it together, and so it made one conversation, and that had never happened. So I was like, I need to do something with this. I don't know what happened in that CD, but for the first time, I thought about it. I'm like, this is so much fun, and they're just coming off my head, like, I don't know. I'll say like
the reason I asked that too, Chris, is
voice to voice to voice.
It's just because just in our interview, you've done 3, 4, 6 different accents just off the muscle, like not even kind of thing. So you definitely enjoyed
it. I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I like that though. It must be like, do you find yourself just doing that randomly, like when you get out of the shower, just like hello
by myself? Like it's one of those things. I can't really explain it. I just go from place to like continent, and or sling blade or whatever. It's funny. I just started this Ashworth comedy Instagram, and I put it on the real Ashworth Instagram. There's only like 10 videos or whatever, but I just started doing it, a few months ago, and I actually haven't done any in a few months either, because my buddy, the one that told me about the Wire, the writer director, he's like, dude, what happened? He's like, you got to keep on putting those out, and I'm like, all right, so I need to go back and do that. But it's voiceovers for animals. So like I'll pull the videos offline, and I mean that's something I've done since I was a little kid. I could be at my tree stand deer hunting or whatever, and I don't want to talk when the deer's coming, but I'm like, I could be doing the voices, or I could be dating some girl and she's got this Chihuahua or whatever dog, and as soon as the dog comes in, I'm like, I'm doing this voice. It's just one of those things. So
bro,
medicated for it. I don't know.
I think that's your actual calling, is the voice though, because it's a natural gift. Clearly,
it is, and I enjoy it. But it used to get me in trouble in school and stuff like that. But it's like I can't, like, I see a conversation afar, and it's one of those things where if somebody's with me, they're like, what do you think they're talking about over there? And I get to be the guy and the girl, or whatever, it's two guys, whatever. I get to voice to my friend or date or whoever it is, and I get to do the conversation. It's just one of those things. It's bred with ADHD or ADD, maybe, I don't know, but
sounds like it's almost like like sometimes it's almost like subconscious. It sounds like like you just kind of naturally do it. That happens though.
Which is good for Sergei.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, definitely. Like sometimes you just hear people have a weird voice, and I feel like they'll just be like, I want to sound. When you talk to your friend afterwards, you just talk like them. You know, it's just like they
I
leave
do
like an
that a lot.
impression.
I do that a lot. I do that a lot, and it's bad when you go to restaurants or whatever, and it's like if I went to a Chinese restaurant or whatever, and they take my order, and it's like people at the table know it, and they're like, "Do not do it," and I'm like, because I'm like, I want to just, to me, I just want to see if I can do it, and they're like, "Don't do it," because they know it's almost automatic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, I can't do it or whatever. But it's just I want to see if I can download that accent.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like
So Chris,
watching
I wanna
The Nutty Professor was the same way. When as soon as I watched it all, or Borat or whatever, it's like I want to do this. I want to do this
Right.
that's
place.
good.
Anyway,
I want
sorry.
I want to ask you a couple more questions. I know you didn't plan on staying this long, so
No,
number
I
one,
don't. Yeah, no, I enjoy it. I don't.
staying on.
I
Um,
get long winded, so I apologize.
no, we enjoyed it. I just I know. I was trying to make it in my head. I was trying to make it briefer for you. I don't know
No,
what your
it's a.
time limit
I didn't
is,
know what would happen,
but
but because I
but
never know, like if I got to be on a call or this or that. But
yeah,
I've got. This has been a blessing to me, so I appreciate you guys inviting me.
I appreciate that, and I enjoyed it a lot too. So I was gonna ask, number one, you told us to remind you about the story. You gonna tell us about the fight. If you could go back to that and tell us that story, and then after that, I want to know your friendship with Method Man, and
Oh yeah. Oh, I
if
got a
you,
great story about that one.
if you have any Michael K. Williams or James Ransone stories for us. Yeah.
I do. Well, the fight that was it. Is like Dominic saying, being asked by the stunt coordinator, like, "Oh, are you
Oh,
ready
yeah.
to get it on with Chris?" No, 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 not really. And then him almost falling out the window
Oh, I'm
and the
sorry.
mirror
Yeah,
falling.
that's right. I
But
missed
no,
that.
that was as far as Method Man. And then I'll tell you one about when I met Alexa Fogel, the casting director. Seth brought me up to Alexa at the season 2 premiere. I'll tell you about that one. But Method Man, it's funny when because I'd listened to Method Man growing up or whatever, and we we were on set for the scene when I put the gun to him. Oh, I got a couple. Putting the gun to his head made me think of another funny story. But when we go to do that scene and we show up and like we're parked near each, my little trailer or honey wagon, whatever it was, I don't remember. It was right near him, and I went up to his door and I was like, and they opened the door like, "What's up, man? You're the Method Man? Yeah, man, what's up? You're great in my country. I love your music. You want to hear something? Please listen. Got Love Jones. Got skin tone. You love Jones for your skin tone. Hands are 5 minutes alone. Hands already on the run. Plus, love the fact good shit that's at home. Whatever. I went on and I was verbatim. He's like, dude, that's good. I was like, man, I'm just messing with you. But I used to listen to your music in Russia. And but I gotta love Jones for your body and your skin tone. 5 minutes alone, and I did it. He was sitting there going, and I was like, dude, I'm just messing with you. So we hit it off really well. And when I had to put the gun to his head, and I'm a gun owner, and my dad was in law enforcement for 30 years, and so I was like, I got to check this out too, or whatever. And I was taking the magazine out and pulling the slide back and looking this and looking at it, and he said, it's funny. He said, I heard if you just blow down the barrel and it whistles, there's nothing in it. And I was like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm telling everybody, you are not hardcore. It was like, but he's such a sweetheart, man. We were at Craft Services in that scene in downtown. If I remember correctly, everybody's like, get the F out of here, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, they don't even care if it's Method Man. Like some people in that where we were filming that night didn't want to see her. I remember when him and I were talking near Craft Services when there's a big table of food and stuff, and this mom came through and she's like, "Do you guys mind if I get something to eat? My kids or whatever." And I was talking to Meth and I was like, "Dude, you could take the whole table. I don't care." And we had a lot of good moments, and I saw him at Sundance. I think I was like sick or something because it was freezing. There was snow everywhere and ice, and I was talking to somebody, I don't know if it was my agent or publicist or somebody there at the table. We were having this conversation. I did not feel good at all. And it's just him and I. And this, all of a sudden, I get this bear hug, and I turn around, it was him. And
that's cool.
It was just cool. But he was just such a nice guy. And it was very surreal because so many times, you know, whether it's, you know, training MMA or lifting weights or whatever, or even in high school sports, like, you know, he was in my earbuds. We didn't have earbuds back then. I'm telling stories now, but just listening to his music, it was really, really wild, you know, because I'm like, I'm sharing the screen with this guy and messing with him. Who else? Let's see.
Seemed like very humble guy, like just like
he really is. He's a great actor too. He's a really great
cool.
actor, and we had to improv that, and you can't even, like, they made me improv. I'm putting the gun to his head, and he's like, I forgot who was directing. Oh, he was the British one. It's like, oh, it's everybody back to one, because I remember he's the one, because he said something that was in the scene. There's dialogue that you probably don't want to be saying, especially down there. I was like, he's yelling it, and I was like, dude, this dude has no clue. He just should not have said that. And he doesn't know. He's from England. And I was like, oh man, this is not good. Everybody back to such and such. I was like, what'd you say?
Said you're not in Yorkshire anymore. Yeah.
No, and that's the wrong place to say whatever it was he said. But he didn't know. I mean, it's just he was reading the dialogue, inner city dialogue, and I was like, he didn't know. As I recall it. But yeah, that was a good scene, and or a good story off that scene. But also, when I got out of the car. Well, let me go back to the ad lib, and I was telling him, I was like, why is it everybody around here, because they wear their pants, their belt or whatever, your pants are down, you think you're hardcore. You have no idea what hardcore is. Like, I kind of wanted to say that because I'm like, I got some dudes. This dude was in the special forces in the Ukraine before the UFC. That's a hardcore dude. And then Igor Zinoviev, and then Oleg Prudius, one of the biggest human beings ever seen. I don't know how they got him in that vehicle. I was like, that dude's hardcore. But anyway, but you can just hear me mumbling with the gun. You can't hear what I'm saying, and they cut to Pablo. But Oleg, his English wasn't great at the time, if I remember correctly. He just didn't speak a lot, and he's massive. I want to say like 6'5", 300 some pounds or whatever. But he's driving, and in the scene, the director comes to like across the passenger side window, and Pablo's in the back with Igor Zinoviev. Oleg is in the front driving, and he's the massive. He was in the WWE or one of the famous wrestling. We've lost somebody. Where'd he go? He got to go to bed. We're down to 3.
I think Jesse had the jet.
He had a jet.
Jesse had to go to work. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
He works overnights.
Oof, that's not fun.
Yeah.
But the director comes up and he's like, Oleg, if you could just, just give us a little shrug. And the director walks by. I looked at Oleg. I was like, you don't even know what a shrug is, man. I know what a shrug is. I know what a shrug is. I was like, okay. So action. And I'm saying something to Pablo, or I was like, Pablo's idea and Method Man, I think. I can't remember. I think Pablo's idea. And then I say something to Oleg or whatever, and Oleg goes like this. I mean, he puts his big hands like on my face, like it's in front of my face. So and the director comes back. He's like, "We could just do a little bit more, a little bit less, or whatever." I was like, "You know what a shrug is, huh? You know what a shrug is?" And it's like, I mean, he's massive. I didn't know what shrug is, but he goes so Igor, Oleg, and I go to jack up Method Man or whatever, put the gun to Cheese's head, and we get back in the car. We have to wait on this dude to get into the driver's seat before we can deliver lines. So he comes in and he's like, and he's just, I mean, he's so barrel chested. He's trying to squeeze in, and I'm waiting, and we're waiting. I'm like, Pablo, like, we're waiting. And it's like, he gets in, he's like, if I recall correctly, the first time, I'm ready. I'm like, okay, you could get in the car, it'd be great. So we got lines to say, man. And it was so funny, and Pablo's laughing and I'm laughing. But there were so many times, man, just like random stuff that I'm like, man, I wish this was being filmed right now.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like
sure.
it's such a small car too, and he's like a professional like WWE guy. So it's just like, how do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And
There's got to be like
that's
a
when we go
no.
ahead,
Sorry,
sorry.
go ahead.
I was going to say when we kidnapped the engineer, I don't remember if the security guard had any lines. I don't remember, but I remember, I mean, on the paper, on the script.
Mm.
But I remember, I'm like, oh, if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure I was like, I want to try to get this guy to say a line because I knew if he said a line, he'd get paid more, or
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I'll see you, because like he's whatever, and I was like, I mean, I flipped my badge or
You
whatever.
flipped the badge.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, I'll see you,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't think that was scripted. I don't remember, but I
Damn.
know what it was like. If it wasn't, maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but if it wasn't, I know what it's like to be like, dude, I just want to say a line.
I just want to say something.
You get more credit, right? Like, or you get more. Yeah, you get paid more.
Yeah, because you could be a featured extra, and it's just, and you get back. It's like getting background pay. Once you say a line, you're eligible. There's different ways to get in the union. Like I got in through working as a stand-in, but you can say a line, and then you can be SAG eligible, if I remember correctly. It's been so long ago. But if you can say a line, it's almost like it opens the door for the union. But also now, I'm guessing, if I'm not mistaken, you have to be paid as a principal. I can't remember, but yeah, it's like 10 times the amount that you would get paid.
Wow.
But I did that for a guy in the movie Space Warriors 2, another guy that has a gift for accents. He's a Alabama, Mississippi boy, and he could do a Russian accent. And I was like, dude, say this, just say it, just respond or whatever. And he had lines, and he got in the union.
Wow.
Do you have like a favorite accent to do, or?
I don't know. Thinking about it now, Hoinsfoy is it's not Irish. I don't know.
That's pretty close.
Jason Statham, I'm just a driver.
His voice is so raspy. Goodness.
It is, man.
It's
He
so
got
rugged.
paid well for it. He
Yeah,
got paid
for
well.
sure.
When he got what was it? Gosh, dude. Gosh, what's the Guy Ritchie? When he got that role by he convinced Guy Ritchie to buy a watch, and he was like, "Hey, I got this. I think Guy Ritchie, if I'm not mistaken, wanted Jason to convince him to buy something because he was doing something on the street. I don't know, hustling or whatever. And so I don't know if it was actually what he was doing on the street or just doing improv. But I think Guy met him on the streets. If I'm not mistaken, I may be mistaken, but there's a really cool story I heard about how he got cast as that character. But he's got some good roles. And
sometimes it's just happenstance, people just are doing odd. I think Vin Diesel got discovered by Steven Spielberg, like working at a store, and was like,
Really?
"Hey, do you want to be in Saving Private Ryan or something like that?" Like it's just like Harrison Ford was like a carpenter.
He was a carpenter, I'd heard. Yeah.
I think he met like George Lucas, like he was working on his house, and that's how he got the role in American Graffiti. It's like, it's life is so random like that,
Yeah. I think he was told that he wasn't gonna he would never be working, because there was an interview he did recently where at some point he was on I think a 7-year contract with one of the studios. It was different back then from what I understand, but the guy let him out of the contract and was basically saying like, he didn't have the stuff to make it or something like that. I think it was a SAG interview. I think it was a SAG interview. I don't remember, but he was talking about how this guy's basically saying he's never going to make it. And he was like the studio head or something like that. I think he did pretty well. Yeah. I think Harrison's done pretty well for himself. Well, the guy they ended up crossing paths later on, which had to be a crazy feeling. But I was going to tell you the story about the season 2 premiere. Seth had brought me to Alexa Fogel, and she was the main casting director out of New York. So she's like, I want to meet the guy that we couldn't find in LA or New York, but Pat was able to find in the bottom of Virginia. So I never met her.
Damn.
So that was a blessing. So there was a lot of good moments on that show. I'm very thankful for it, but I was scared.
Literally, you're literally a Wire legend. Okay, let me. So
I appreciate.
Yeah, as
that.
Wire fans and addicts here, you know, we appreciate you coming on our platform, giving our time. Like I said, I had one question for you tonight, Chris.
That's it, just one.
I was like, you know what? Okay, Jesse said we gotta keep it short. It might be a shorter interview. Let me just ask the one question I want to ask. So I'm glad you gave us more time, your time, and your story and your plight, man. Those first 30 minutes, man, was such a plunge, a spiritual plunge, man. I think we all needed that. That was phenomenal. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. And I mean, if you guys got to go, that's fine. But do y'all have any other questions? Like, that's been a blessing for.
No, for sure. I think it's crazy that. Well, first of all, I just want to say that I was thinking about like that Russian guy, like years later watching The Wire on HBO, and then coming to your scene and be like, wait a second, that guy sounds like me.
That story, yeah. That was that. I mean, that I don't even know what to say. I look back because sometimes you're in the minute, like even like I haven't worked in a while. I've been up for I was up for somebody opposite Michael Fassbender on Paramount Plus. It would have that role amazing on the agency. You'll know it when you see it. But I'm like, oh man, this is me, because it was 100% me. It felt like, and so I've been up for some big stuff, but it just hasn't gone my way. But I've been having so much more fun with it. The pressure's off, which I wish I could go back 20 years ago and just play, as opposed to I gotta get these according to my lines. I gotta say this.
Right.
You know, no, if you don't even say lines, if it doesn't come out anything like it's supposed to be on the page, just go in there and respond and listen and be present, and just don't make choices. You're not going to say it like this. Just go in there and don't have preconceived notions of how you have to do it, or don't make choices ahead of time. Just play. And it's so much more fun now, you know, like it's supposed to be.
Chris, I'm telling you, boss, like I think you have to look into the voice stuff, like, because it's so natural to you. And just like I said, when I was putting together our Bob Sport interview that we just released about 2 hours ago, and I clicked on Greg Williams' site, I was like, damn, you can book him for all of this shit? Like, this is a lot. It's a bunch of stuff kind of thing. Like, and it's just off the power of his voice, like, kind of thing.
Interesting. Like, I appreciate it.
I'll have Jesse send you his website to maybe give you some inspiration, and we'll send you that studio that he suggested too, kind of thing, like the agency.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Because I mean, if you're still actively looking for work, like you just said, the voiceover stuff, bro, it's your natural talent, like, kind of thing.
I appreciate that. I do appreciate it. And I've been told that so many times, but sometimes it's like, oh, I don't know where to start, and you know, and my agent or my manager, she's like, I told her I should probably do this. This was a few months ago. She's like, well, do you have a demo? And I was like, nope. Next question. And it was just forgotten about, and and I just,
bro, I'm telling you, you should take some time and then record, because you can do it seamlessly. How many accents have you done in an hour and 30 minutes with us? Like,
I don't know. They just go, they just come up.
Yeah, bro. Like that's, and it sounds like you've reached a point in your life where it's like, oh yeah, well, if I don't get the role, oh well, I just audition again. It's not like you're holding on to, oh well, I didn't get booked for that. Like, so you're
just move
auditioning for stuff, and you're not emotionally tied to it, kind of thing. It's like you're still active. So
can you do a Jack Simmons voice, or can you do a Jack Simmons or a Leland voice? I don't want to put you on the spot, but how would
I don't want to put you on the spot. I don't know if I can or not. I'd have to do it a few times and concentrate.
Yeah. I guess. You know, one thing I want to say before, like, I love the scene where you're like, because we literally just watched this episode 2 days ago. So it's like you said, it's surreal. It's surreal, just like watching a TV show and then like talking to the guy that was in that.
It's weird for me too. Just so you know, to make you feel better. It's weird for me too. Like, that's happened over and over and over again. I'm like, I can't believe I'm talking to this. Like, so I appreciate that, but I'll let you know I feel the same thing when I'm working with certain people. I'm like, it's just another person, but this is crazy.
Yeah, it's just like it does feel like, where am I?
It's surreal for sure. It's a little trippy.
And you know, one thing that's great about, and I think the thing about acting is like, it's so much facial. Like, the facial acting is great, because in that scene when you realize you're screwed because they got you on murder, we could see your face, and you slowly start to you watch the video, and you see him realize like, oh shit, I'm actually, because at first in that scene you're like, whatever, I wasn't part of this, I don't care, and then
I don't even remember.
oh,
That's crazy, right?
yeah,
I don't
We
even
just
remember.
watched it. We just
yeah,
we
that's why.
just watched it.
But
I want to see it.
oh yeah, the facial, like, that's the thing. It's like the subtlety of like, oh wow, you realize like this character realizes he's actually in trouble. I think that's harder to do because like, how do you get into that, like, as an actor, like that mentality of like being the guy who knows he's fucked? You just have to like, I don't know, man. That's so, to me
I don't
that's
remember
just,
how I did it then. I don't even remember the scene. And to explain, like, I haven't watched The Wire in
oh, okay.
forever
Mhm.
because, like, I'm not dating anybody right now, but God willing, I meet my future wife. That's in the Lord's hands. I like to watch it with her. But also,
That makes
it's
sense.
very hard it's very hard for me to watch The Wire because I've lost so many friends.
Damn.
You know, it's
is
Boardwalk Empire, like seeing Michael, because I was very close with Michael. We used to
Okay.
walk around the streets in New York, and we talk about this and that, and I didn't know about his struggles then. I didn't know. I wish I had. But
you know what,
yeah,
Chris?
it's hard to watch that. So yeah.
Did you know these guys before The Wire, or did you meet them like
No.
on set?
No,
Oh,
met
wow.
him on set,
On set.
and I always wanted a scene against Omar. I wanted
Mhm.
Sergei and Omar to have a scene together, or me versus Marlo. And actually, I thought it was me that was going to get the job to take out Marlo, but Omar, it was Brother Muzan. I was reading the script and like, because I think it was Prop Joe. I can't remember. And he was like, oh, I know the perfect guy for this. I'm like, oh, dude,
Gotta be
Sergei.
me.
I'm like, who was Brother Muzan? Who was that?
You know what, Chris? I'm gonna touch on two things. These are my last two things. I know Jack has a
go ahead, brother.
So, firstly, as a Wire fanatic, okay, and we love all aspects of the Wire. Brother Muzon, that character, I don't know what in the hell. It's like he had this whole scary mystique about him from other people. He gets in the show, he shoots Method Man with a fake bullet, and then he gets shot. Like, okay, I guess it's like he's not as menacing as how everybody else made him to be, kind of thing. Like, people were petrified of this man. Like, I'm like,
yeah,
for what? Like, you know, like, oh
no, I agree. I would have loved the job, but I was like, it was a very interesting character. I mean, because it's been forever. I can barely remember like a bow tie, suit, glasses, or whatever. Like, you thought he was going to sell you insurance or vacuum encyclopedias
or alarm systems.
Constantly reading.
Alarm system. Yes. What'd you say?
He's constantly reading too. Like, he just hangs out and reads until it's time to shoot somebody.
That's the feel you got. But I was thinking, you know, how articulate well worded he was.
For sure.
That character was really, really. It was really neat. It was deeper than what you would expect, because you think, if I remember, somebody's coming, you think of some gangbanger coming down, rolling, whose vocabulary was not at all there,
right?
To come down, no business, and then, you know, have no fear of the system or whatever, and then Brother Muzone shows up to do business, and it is business.
Yeah,
I thought it was really interesting. And
he's
before I
forget, interesting character for sure. Very multi-layered character, but it's just compared to other characters in the Wire. I mean, you know, you look at a Sergei, or you look at know, a Chris Parlow, or Snoop, or a
or Marlo, or Marlo,
like, you know.
When he's like, I want my cars back. He's got a baseball bat, and I'm like, so cold, cold. Which is the exact opposite, because Jamie Hector is such a sweetheart of a dude, like one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
You know what, Chris?
So cold.
When we interviewed Teddy Kanaz on our channel, he was so freaking nice. Like, he was one of Teddy Kanaz. He was so nice to us. Like, he was so nice. Even about Ziggy, he was talking about Ziggy. This is like almost like right before James Ransone passed too. So it was eerily weird, because he was speaking sympathetic about the character Ziggy, you know, kind of thing. It was like, you know, Ziggy's not a bad guy. Like, he was super nice. And then as we rewatch season 2, it's like, damn, he's an asshole in season 2. But he's so freaking nice. He was so nice to us when we interviewed him. He just has just his voice is very subtle, very soft, and probably he was such a nice guy. Like, you know, not that I'm talking to you and we think that Sergei is an asshole in person. You're clearly a super nice guy. It seemed so different from his character. Kind of, he was so nice. He was so nice to us. So
it's always weird when that happens.
Believe that.
Yeah,
you know, it's like I saw an interview with like the guy who played King Joffrey in Game of Thrones, and he was like, "Hello," and I'm like, "Wait a second."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You just want to kick that dude into traffic. His character, he did so well, but you just because you hated him.
Yeah.
No, because for sure, if I see Officer Walker in public, oh yeah, no, it's up. No, it's up for sure.
He's gonna be Officer limping when
it's up for sure. You know, why'd you break Donut's fingers? Like, I'm gonna have real words for him. You know, kind of.
It's interesting when people you hate them so bad. I can't think of it, but there's been times I'm sure I've seen and Joffrey, of course, but there's been characters that you hate so much that it's like. It almost makes you forget that you are watching a show.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, well, you really did pull that off, because some of the stuff is so heavy too. I mean, some of the stuff today is so heavy and dark that it sits with you after the show's over, after the movie's over, which you're like, I can't talk to anybody right now because my brain's got to process this guy. Or he's a murderer or child predator or racist or whatever it is. It's so evil. And like, well, there are people out there like that. So
for sure,
let me this actor's not one of them, but let me I just need to just come off this little edge that I've been sitting on before I can tell anybody how my day was or answer any questions like, what do you want to eat? Nothing. I gotta think about that, it's just good television.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
But that dude,
and it makes you hate the actor more. You know, you see the actor. It's weird because like I think that was the way my parents told me they had that feeling about Meryl Streep when they saw him in Kramer versus Kramer, and she played such a horrible woman in that. And then for years they couldn't watch her in another movie because it's like if they do such a good job, you just associate that character with the act. Same with that guy from that show Euphoria, Jacob Elordi. He's like a big name actor now, and in that show he plays like basically a horrible like rapist piece of shit guy.
Is that the guy who plays Frankenstein or whatever?
Yeah.
Is that the guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Tall dude.
And he's like very tall. Apparently he's a great actor, but it's just like he played that character so well that afterwards, like I see him in a trailer, I'm like, I don't want to like, but you remember it's like, well, that's just a good actor. Then that's just range. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I imagine for an actor that must be difficult to like separate.
It's like, no, it's a fucking show. It's not real.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to do it. Sometimes you don't. There's been times when I'm like, I don't remember what the movie was for. It was with Paul Walker, I believe. I'm pretty sure. And there was this Russian guy, and like the Russian
Running
guy.
Scared. It's got to be
the Russian guy hated black people.
Running Scared. Maybe. That was one of his last movies.
Who was black also, and she was like, I want you to be this guy. And I was like, I remember that because I was like, how badly do you want to be? Because I'm gonna say some stuff if you want me to improv that you were
right.
I'm not gonna feel comfortable with this. It's like what the Samuel Jackson and Leonardo DiCaprio had. That like Leo doesn't want to say it, and Samuel's telling him whatever, and I'm like, I can improv and I can make you believe this, but I'm gonna feel so bad. It starts to make you like literally you start to feel nauseous. You're like, this does not feel right, even if it's on the page, or especially if it's not, because a lot of the stuff I've booked or really had fun with an audition, if I'm reading somebody, I'll have improv because you're playing pretend. But if you're going into a deep or dark spot as a character, sometimes you're like, I already don't want to be here. Like I enjoy acting, but I don't want to be like saying some of this stuff until I've got okays from everybody around. Like, hey, you realize we're playing? I'm going to make you believe I'm this guy, but I'm not.
Right.
You know, so some of the stuff is really tough. And I think there's been a couple auditions like different Predators. Like I just don't want to do it. Like I just didn't even want to. I didn't want to even step into like the audition because I'm like, some of the stuff, especially if it's a long series or a movie, I mean, you're going to be wearing that dialogue, and you're going to be like, you just don't want your mind to go there.
Yeah.
And you have to get in the mind of that character.
That's what I'm saying. That's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
that's.
And Chris, we broke down We Own This City as well. The show We Own This City, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were breaking it down, Jack would say I think by episode 4, because he had never seen it, and I watched it.
I've never seen it, and
You
I
never
was
seen
up
it?
for it, or my availability was checked for that show, and I was doing something else or whatever. I don't remember. So it's on my list of like I would like to see it, but I keep forgetting about it. And when I saw your toboggan, I was like, still haven't seen it.
Our executive producer of our podcast is Miss Donna Adrian Gibson from The Wire. She sent us hats and stuff over.
That's a good connect to have.
Yeah. She's we love that woman. We honor that woman all the time. Her and Miss Debbie Young. Those are like our behind the scenes kind of support.
Debbie Young?
Yeah. We've
Felicia
interviewed her
Rashad?
as well. Yeah.
Felicia
But when
Debbie,
we did
love Debbie.
Those two women are some of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. Like kind
He's
of
about to make up hair, Debbie Young.
Yeah.
I love her. I love that woman.
Two things, Chris. So one, Bob Spohr told us that he was thinking about transitioning himself, and Miss Debbie Young saved his life. She stopped him from, I think, jumping off a building or something. Like it was something crazy. Yeah. So she's an angel here on earth. And same with Miss Donna. Miss Donna is like, those are two just phenomenal spirits.
Was Donna in Wardrobe?
Yeah.
Because I think I saw a clip because Jesse had sent me a clip or whatever, and because I can't remember everybody that worked, and I'm thinking because I'm pretty sure y'all said something about Wardrobe. I was like, man, she looks really, really familiar.
He usually sends one of them two because it's like, okay, if they worked on The Wire, they probably have interacted with one of these two, if not both of them, kind of thing. So he'll usually send our potential interviewees. He'll send them an interview with one of them because it's like, okay, well, I know they probably.
I was like, I recognize her, and it's like, I mean, again, it's 2003. It's 23 years ago. I filmed that from January to July of 03, so 23, almost 23 years ago. But I was looking, I was like, I think that's her. I think she was her. But that's Debbie, like I saw her on Underground, I believe, and I've seen her a couple of times, and I just remember us talking, and she's a believer too, and we'd be in the trailer. I mean, just like she's like, baby, you got this or this or this, and I always joke because I'm like, this is Felicia Rashad. She always reminds me of her.
Yeah, no, she's a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart. But where I was going with that was when we were doing We Own This City, we were simultaneously doing We Own This City and The Wire. First, we took a break after episode 6 of season 2. We were like, okay, this is a good breaking point, and we're gonna break down We Own This City. And then James Franson passed away, and we're like, okay, you know what? Let's finish We Own This City, but we got to get back to season 2, and we need to honor him. But when we were doing We Own This City, Jack had never seen it, and by like episode 4, he was like, "Hey y'all, some of this shit is disgusting. Like
it's heavy, isn't it? Is it about brutality? I can't remember. Is it brutality?
It's the Gun Trace Task Force was a plainclothes task force in Baltimore. And they were essentially a gang with badges. So they were like robbing people, stealing money, like planting evidence. And the leader his name was Wayne Jenkins. So like when the Freddie Gray stuff happened in Baltimore and the city was rioting, he went against the riots, like on the front line, and was like protecting his Blue Shield people. And they honored him for that. But also that same night when they were looting the Rite Aid, and he stopped some people that were looting the Rite Aid, he stole their drugs. I was like, give me the drugs. And he took them to his contact to sell. Like that's the type of stuff he was doing. Like it's one of the biggest scandals in American police history. So like when we're watching it, some of that stuff it's disgusting. And Jack, by like episode 4, he was like, hey y'all, this stuff is like I don't really want to keep watching this kind of thing. Like it's some of it is disgusting because they messed up a lot of people's lives, like planting evidence. People did 8 years, 10 years, 7 years for being falsely imprisoned by the police. Like it is some sickening stuff in there. So I get what you're saying about not wanting to play certain characters, but I just know by episode 4, Jack was like, hey y'all, look, listen. Some of this stuff is disgusting. I feel like I need to take a shower when I finish watching it. Like so some of it's
hard to sleep afterwards. And that when I get on certain shows, if stuff is too deep, I'll also, especially if it's based on on something
True
on
story.
real life,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, true story. I'll Google. I'm like, all right, what actually happened, or what? Because I know that I'm not talking about We Own the City, but like some stuff I've read, I'm like, did this guy, or I'm supposed to audition for, like, did this really happen? Because I mean, I was talking to one of my buddies also, and he's got a few scripts in development. And he's like, one was about a murder, and I'm like, well, what actually happened or didn't happen? And because some stuff will get embellished a little bit. You'll see that in Hollywood movies all the time.
For sure.
So my curiosity goes to whether it's movies or series. I'm like, all right, what really happened? Yeah, but it can also consume you. Like I could see how We Own the City, watching it, you could consume you. Because my first thing would be like, all right, well, what's this do? Did he get punished for it, or who was affected, or this or that? Some of the stuff is so dark. You're like, I don't even want to. I'm not about to Google this. Like, I don't even want to know any more about it, whether it's real or not.
It's the We Own the City stuff is, and I've only grown such a fondness for it because I don't sleep much. Because I got a 2-year-old daughter, so like my sleep schedule is really thrown off. Like, so like if I know, okay, I gotta wake up in 3 hours, I'll just put on episode 4 of We Own This City because it's only 6 episodes, and I know the TV is shut off after episode 6. So I've watched it since my daughter's been born for like the last 2 years. I'm going to sleep to it, but
isn't it so heavy though to watch it over and over and over again?
It is. It's a disgusting watch.
I don't understand this.
It's a disgusting watch, to be honest. Like and breaking it down.
Cartoons or something, man. Like old school, like the good cartoons.
Watch some SpongeBob SquarePants.
It's just because I know the TV will cut off after episode 6.
Okay.
So it's like I won't oversleep because there's no sound. That's the thing. But no, the show it's hard. And honestly, since we broke it down, I haven't rewatched it. Like, it makes me, and I watched it for 2 years straight. But ever since we finished breaking it down, I'm like, damn, I don't even know if I can rewatch it.
You gotta find another show to watch, man.
Yeah,
it's so crazy.
Watch Seinfeld, something like. Oh, by the way, talking about voices,
old Family
I
Guy.
remember being in LA at Ralph's at the grocery store, and I came around one of the aisles and I saw Newman was in there. He was in the aisle, dude. I mean, it took so much. I saw he lost a lot of weight, but he was staring at something, and I just wanted to be like, "Hello, Jerry." I wanted to do it so badly, and I was like,
"How's the mail carrying going, Newman?" Like,
but we talked, and he was a fan of The Wire, which was really cool. So we talked, and he was so humble, and he's like, at the time, this must be 6 years ago, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. It's hard to tell, but he was like, I just have this internet show going on. He was very vocal. He's like, I don't have anything going on, and I'm like, just for him to admit that, because you're also in a business where some people could be like, well, I've got this going on, I got this going on. I'm like, are you like everybody
trying to talk themselves up?
Yeah, I've always been like, no, I mean, I've got things in the works maybe, but they could happen tomorrow, they could happen 10 years or never happen. But he was very humble, and he lost a lot of weight, and he was very humble. But anyway, that
I appreciate that
comment made me think about that.
Wow.
Yeah. You gotta watch something light sometimes, man, just to
Yeah. No, it's been lately. It's been like no TV kind of thing. Like when it's time to go to sleep. When it's time to go to sleep. Yeah.
Where are you located?
I'm in Georgia.
Oh, you're in Georgia?
Yeah, I'm in Georgia.
What part of Georgia?
Like Douglasville, Georgia. I don't know if you're familiar with Georgia, but
yes, Douglasville. Yeah. How old are you?
36.
Oh, you're 36 years old. Do I know anybody from there? Do you know Ashley White by any chance? This is being recorded.
Do I know who?
Ashley White by any chance? She was a Miami cheerleader, Miami Hurricanes, and then the Miami Dolphins, and she became an actress or whatever. She's a good friend of mine. But Douglasville, I went through there to see her once upon a time. Y'all take that out. Y'all can mute that. I don't know. It's not bad, but I won't be all of the business. But Douglasville, yeah, because I was on my way back from LA, I believe, or I think I swung down there. I don't remember.
Damn. Wow.
I don't know if that really needs to be in there, but
man,
shout out to Ashley White.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
shout out to
There we go.
Douglasville.
It has been
Because she was
a
talking about the country.
phenomenal interview, Chris. Man, we appreciate your time. No, this ran way
appreciate
over
y'all.
it what either of us thought. So we appreciate your time so much. And we would love to have you back at some point in time. We're trying to form like a few reunion episodes with
Okay.
actors, kind of thing. That's still
Okay.
in the works. So we'd love to have you back whenever time permits for you at some point in time. And Jesse sends his love too. He said he had to go, but he told me to tell you.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Definitely appreciate you coming on with us, man. It's been a phenomenal interview. Blessings and success to you. And I'll be sure that Jesse gets you that information from Mr. Greg Williams about the voiceover stuff.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll get that information to you. And if you have anything you want us to put in our description, like if people can book you or find you, anything like that, send that to Jesse. And
I
I'll
will,
put
because I just did a Cameo the other day. I started doing cameos. I've done, 10 to 15. I think I got 10 or 2, but I think I've done like 15. But I had to do one for somebody out of Baltimore like 2 days ago, I think.
Okay.
So I finally joined Cameo because I was like, I don't know, man. It feels weird. I don't mind doing it. It feels weird charging people, but they're like, no, dude, like, you got to pay bills.
You should, man.
It's easy money, I imagine, It's like,
my buddy's like, you've been doing it for years for free. And I was like, yeah, but I just feel like I need to.
Yeah.
So I finally got onto that and I feel okay about it. But so Cameo and then my Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. Yeah,
my
if
YouTube,
people can book you or reach you, send that to Jesse. And
Okay,
I'll plug it in every video that we put out moving forward. I'll put it.
Okay, I really appreciate
your information at the bottom so people.
I need to put it on that wire. I need to put it on that wire page. That would be a blessing. But especially, I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on my agent to call. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, dude, what if my agent or manager came from LA or called from LA while I'm doing a podcast, and I get to say to you guys, like, dude, I'm gonna be a part of the show or whatever because I'm up for some stuff. That would be
that would be cool. That would be cool. But
Yeah.
us helping you kind of relive your most traumatic time around the same time and being able to talk about that's a blessing too. Like, that's
It is because I hadn't had any acting by then. I mean, it was independent film and everything, The Wire and everything else afterwards, all the ups and downs too. Like all of that was after, 01.
After all
The
that.
Wire was my first thing. So I appreciate that. And I could get the, maybe you could put this stuff on that Facebook page too, the Cameo. Because I would love to. I've been on commenting back and forth because it's a blessing to me to talk to people because, as a creator, as somebody in the creative field, as an actor or whatever, and I'm sure it would be the same thing for other artists, no matter the medium, when you're talking with people that appreciate your gifts or what God's given you, it is such an encouragement to keep going because I'm like, you're always, because, the people in your life will be like, well, have you thought about doing this? Have you thought about doing this? I'm like, yeah, all the time, more than anybody.
Yeah.
But there's something that says keep going.
No, please keep going because it's a natural gift for you. Like it's a natural talent for you. Like, so to be able to have it and still be willing to tap into it, like you definitely should.
That's true. Sometimes you need that extra encouragement. Yeah, I can relate too. Like sometimes I'll feel like, oh wow, if I have a horrible set, but if somebody tells me like, hey, you're really funny, like you need that little. People don't understand like how much that means. That was like little
You're
comments,
exactly right.
just like you're good. Like that feels amazing. So that's
and
why I try to do that too.
No, I appreciate that, and I forgot who it was. Who was it in the media? It was somebody super famous, and I don't remember who it was, but they were basically saying, gosh, I'll think about it like in the middle of the night tonight. But they could get criticized by one person or whatever, and you get 1 million compliments. Yep. But it's that one criticism they read online, and that's what they focus on, which is the way. And I forgot, we would all know who it is, and I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
That's so
every little bit helps.
That you say that, Chris, because it's like we post a lot in these different groups. Like I'm like the person that does a lot of our marketing for our podcast in terms of like I'm gonna say annoying people, but like letting people know like, hey, we exist over here, kind of thing.
No, you should, because there's a lot of people that would be blessed by y'all's videos.
And Chris, I'll never stop. This is where I'm going with this. Like, so I've had people in some of the groups, they're like, Yeah, I don't really like how you all market your podcast. I don't like that you all say that it's the greatest podcast or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. We got a comment about 3 weeks ago from somebody in Slovenia.
I know what this is.
Right?
My cousin lives at this place. You're talking Slovenia.
But from a whole nother country, and she was basically
how
saying
wild
like,
is that?
She was like, the person you all interviewed didn't have many lines. It was Michael's stepfather from season 4. And she was like, you all really respected him and honored him as if he was a main person in the show. And she's like, you all have a lifelong fan, from her native country kind of thing. So it was like,
and how much of a blessing that was to him.
Yeah. Right. So it's just the people that maybe can't see what you're doing or don't want to acknowledge it. It's like, okay, well, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for that fan in another country that's very appreciative of what you all do, kind of thing. So
that's
really cool.
Fan was actually me. I was just using a different account.
Oh, you using a burner? You got a burner account?
I was just Slovenian.
Jack was over there in Slovenia, and he what he did was now he changed his name on the YouTube channel. But no, it's such a blessing too, because it was a blessing for you guys to get the comment from that person in another country, which is wild, right? That other people in other countries watch it. But also for the guy that you guys had on that, that somebody says didn't have a big role. Well, I've had a lot of my roles haven't been big. I mean, Sergei's the biggest one, and there's other guest stars and stuff like that. And I do feel like that the Lord is going to open up the doors. If he didn't, that's fine. But I do feel like it's coming.
Yeah.
But all that being said is, no matter where you are on the call sheet, I think a lot of, especially as you go further down, you're waiting for that day where you feel like you can show the talent that you feel like God gave you, and you want to have fun and be respected by people. Every time you show up on a different show, especially earlier on, The Wire was kind of I was up there. I mean, it was so many, was it a couple hundred characters, and I wasn't at the top by any means, but if people could, they knew who I was when I was filming, which was a blessing. But there's been so many times where, I came on for a co-star, this or that, and you're just like, oh, it's like going to school. You're the new kid in school. Like, like you showing up and like, all right, I don't know anybody. Hi, I'm
right.
For a minute. I hope you like me. So anyway, I know you guys got to get off here. Jack, where are you?
No, we're good. I mean, we just appreciate your time, Chris, man.
I appreciate it.
It's been phenomenal, man.
What did you ask me?
Where are you located?
I live on Long Island.
Oh, New York too. Okay.
Yeah. Me and Jesse, we live actually about like 40 minutes away from each other. Like, It's random. We just started this podcast through Facebook. Normally you're not supposed to talk to random people on the internet, but we got a podcast going, and like
I got some real nice guys on there. They sent me the strangest pictures.
They had a picture of a weird leg. It's
I don't know what that was, but he was really nice. Send me a Christmas card. He's coming down here and staying with us. Did y'all know that? This weekend.
It's all wet and everything.
It's
man.
Because it's like new family members. Almost you meet people that you guys have a similar interest, and you guys are up there together in New York, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, I got somebody I can go have coffee with or talk shop with. It's anytime you find, whether it's on that side of the camera or creatives or the comedians or whatever, it's it's honestly a blessing to have fellowship with other people.
Yeah.
For sure. It's like we need that now. Now that like people feel more separate, it really is great to just bring everyone together like this.
It's so true.
No, man, it's been phenomenal, man. Thank y'all so much. Chris, blessings to you again. Please send that information to Jesse.
Okay.
And like I said, I'll plug it in all of our videos moving forward, and we'll be sure that Jesse gets you that information about the voiceover studios and all of that stuff, bro. We'll get that information to you.
That sounds good, man. I appreciate you guys. Are y'all do y'all cut it? Do y'all cut this, or do y'all just send it?
No, we'll like tonight. I'll generate some shorts from it, like some shorts to post on YouTube. But yeah,
good luck. This is Chris's first 55-minute answer.
No, it's gonna give a different. It's gonna give a different light to some of our interviews because it was a spiritual cleanse kind of thing. You know, so.
Somebody on Twitter one time, I'll never forget when I had a Twitter, and it was awesome for a while. But somebody said I never expected Sergei to tell me about Jesus.
Sure. That wasn't on the manifest today for sure.
Yeah,
man.
Got to go to church more.
Yeah, it was. I want to tell you about something very serious, not girls. But it's been a pleasure for me, man.
Though, man. Blessings to you, Chris. And like I said, we'll get you that information, and we'll connect with you soon whenever we do the reunion for everybody. Okay. So for sure,
that sounds good. Well, y'all have a blessed night, Jack. And you got to tell me your name because I was looking down at Wiretaps and I was like, what did he say his name was?
It's Leland.
Leland, that's right.
Leland,
that's right.
It's
Leland and Jack, I appreciate you. Thank you to Jesse.
Thank you, sir.
For sure.
Tell him thank you as well. And either tonight or either tomorrow, I'll get some notes and I'll email them back to him. But I appreciate you guys for having me on, and it's been a blessing, man. It's been a blessing. So,
been a fantastic time,
so
sir.
Much,
have a great weekend.
And we'll talk to you soon, man. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Y'all too.
All right.
We're gonna go.
How you turn this thing off? I'm still here. How you turn this thing?
So this could.
All right, man. This has been another phenomenal interview. We appreciate you, Chris, for coming in. Again, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Wiretapped Truths. We always honor our behind-the-scenes support system. Miss Donna Adrian Gibson, we love you. Miss Debbie Young, we love you. Kurt Burke, we love you as well, boss. Thank you all so much for supporting. Again, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Wiretapped Truths. It's been another phenomenal interview, and we're signing out. We'll see you all next time.